Assalamualaikum. So hari ni our first session. So pertamanya that we are going to look into the course information, and then after that we will go for our first chapter, which is on the aviation economy. Ya. So hari ni kalau you tengok dekat slide tu, this is the Aviation Economy and Finance class, MEC 746. So I think only two of you guys are from semester 2, and then the rest, the remaining of you in the semester 1. But actually we need to do some adjustment so that apa nama tu, you yang daripada semester 1 ni that will take dahulu yang semester 2 punya kelas, but that is doesn't matter actually. Alright, so and then after that, you're going to do the including with the project 1, and then I think with the project 1, and then in the semester panjang, semester break panjang, the short semester, you will conduct project 2, and then you will continue with the subject for the semester 1. So that will be the idea for this semester's punya arrangement lah. So as for this subject, aviation economy and finance, my name is Aman Muhammad Ihsan bin Mamat. Okay, so sekejap ya. So let me introduce myself, and then after that maybe we can, we can have an ice breaking uh, about yourself, so that you can turn on your you can turn on your camera, and then let us know where you're from, your name, your full name, and then your background a little bit, so that I can know you a little bit better. Okay, so this is me, Aman Muhammad Ihsan bin Muhammad. I'm associate professor. So currently I'm director for the Smart Manufacturing Research Institute. Um, this or SMRI. So this research institute is located at level 5, block 3. So for the first 2 weeks, this week and the next week, so this week 29th, and then tomorrow 30th, and then we're going to have another class on 5th of April and 6th of April. So these 4 sessions will be conducted through online, and then fully online. And then on the next coming, on the 3rd week, which is on the 12th, we'll be conduct the session as in physical plus with the online. So that is going to be a hybrid session. Okay, so the class for the 3rd week, which is on the 13th, on the 12th and 13th, and on the 19th, on the week 4, will be conducted at Smart Classroom at level 6. So my office is at level 5, and then your class will be held in level 6, Smart Classroom level 6. So about the arrangement, I will tell you later on the how that the distributions of the chapter for this class. Yeah, so that because I'm explaining on the my office, so that I think it's better that we let you know where your class will be located. And then that is my current positions. However, my say that the permanent position is in the School of Mechanical Engineering, College of Engineering, UITM. So the currently the arrangement of the university, we are organized as a college, which is a College of Engineering, and School of Mechanical is part of the College of Engineering. However, starting from 1st of May 2025, this coming, we are going to split the School of Mechanical Engineering from the College of Engineering, and we will become as the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. So due to the administration and management conditions, so we cannot retain the college system for the UITM because it is not suitable and not effective. So we are going to separate, and then we're going to have a new dean of Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, dean for Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, with the new structure of organizations. Okay, so my my qualifications. My PhD is in mechanical engineering from Imperial College London, graduated in 2012, so it's about 13 years ago. My field of my field of expertise is actually from the turbo machinery. Then my research work more towards of the energy, gas turbine, turbo machinery, especially on the turbine, on the turbine design and turbine performance and characterizations. Short note for project, I have given topics which is will do on the gas turbine analysis for hydrogen combustion. So whoever interested to do the project, you can contact me for further discussion. So because I have looked, I make some background check, and then found out most of you guys currently are not from the management perspective. So that I decided to give the topics for my project on the gas turbine analysis rather than on the aviation economics. So, however, if you like to do on the aviation economics, please let me know so that we can discuss. Because the previous student in the for the previous group, for the first batch, I have provided the topics which related to the this aviation economy and finance, which is going to which was look into the aviation forecasting, which is part of the that you're going to see in this subject. All right. So my master is a master specialized in technical aeronautic airspace from Toulouse. I was graduated in 2004, and then I spent about a year for my masters, and then the master in Toulouse, France is a little bit unique as compared with the Malaysia system. And then my first degree is Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering, Aeronautical from University Technology Malaysia, Johor in 2001. So how that I get into this aviation economy and finance, which is actually from my master's specialization when I study in Toulouse. So then I got the background for doing the analysis for business analysis for Airbus in Blanak. So that I got the opportunity to conduct a project there. So that is how that I obtained my knowledge, my expertise in the aviation economy. Okay, so that's my contact number. But however, this let me make an amendment a little bit here. my office number here has been changed. Yeah, so this one. Okay. So that is my office number and my mobile phone. I think that you got my mobile phone already, which is from the WhatsApp group, and then my email and my research focus area. Okay, so which is you can look into my research profile, which is you can scan or you can click the link that I have provided, which is we list all the paper and the publication that I have contributed. Okay, so that is a little bit about myself. So can you please turn on your microphone and you know for your uh, and your your camera, and then tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah. Okay. So who's going to begin? Who volunteer? Who wants to volunteer to start?
Me,
Okay, Faiza.
if it's okay, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay, Faiza.
Hi, first of all, good morning.
Okay.
Oh,
Good morning.
okay. My name is Nofaiza binti Barisam. Mm, I graduated my bachelor in physics, applied physics from UiTM.
Okay.
And then I took a year off working as totally like out of the course as an English tutor. And then now only I get into master aviation.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what's make you go to from physics to masters in aviation?
Um because I wanted to work in aviation industry, but I don't
Okay.
really know anything about it.
Okay. All right.
So I figured, yeah, probably it's a good thing to
Mm-mm.
explore first.
All right. Okay. That's good.
Mhm.
That's good. When I did my
Thank you.
masters last time, so the way that
Mhm,
how that the French see the master program, which is
mhm,
actually they are doing on the specializations, and then they are
mhm,
taking students from the various fields to streamline
mhm,
because from their initial degree, I mean they are from different field of studies. Then
mhm,
when they get into the master program, which is actually they are streaming into uh, the the aeronautical engineering. So that's actually what we are doing in UITM. So that's why we can accept all any field of the students so that
mhm,
they wish to go further their study and continue I mean and get into the career path line for the aviation
mhm,
industry. So we are like uh, redevelop, I mean, restream the graduated student into the aviation and aeronautical engineering so that they can further or that can enhance their career development in this area. Okay. All right.
mhm.
Nice to meet you, Faiza.
Nice to meet you too. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Next. Okay, Heidi, yeah. Okay.
Ya,
All right, Heidi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Okay.
Wabarakatuh. Good morning,
Waalaikumsalam.
everyone.
All right.
Okay, my name is Mama Heidi bin Muhammad from Nilai Negeri Sembilan. So currently is a maintenance planner in Raya Airways Sdn Bhd.
Okay.
Right now, I'm in the Sepang Aircraft Engineering for C-Check A321-200. Uh, Raya Airways is a cargo airlines company.
Okay.
So before I joined Raya, I started my career with AirAsia Sdn Bhd as a technical records officer and then promoted to power plant planning engineer. In 2016, I went to Dubai and worked with Emirates Airlines for 1 year. 2017 until 2023. So I got a career break, take care of my mother-in-law, then doing some business, retail business. I rejoined aviation industry back in October 2023, and now I am where I am.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, 40 years, 42 years old.
Okay. 42 years old. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Education, I have diploma in electrical engineering, UITM.
Okay.
I
That's good.
graduated 2006. Not finished my bachelor degrees. I quit. Not quit lah. Basically, I didn't attend to the class. So dapat gugur taraf. Gugur taraf 2007 because I went to work. So dah tiap bulan dapat duit jadi lupa daratan.
Okay.
Lupa daratan tak pergi kelas and then gugur taraf. Somehow dapat penyesalan tu lah. Dapat penyesalan tu masa umur 40 tahun, applied for APPEL A,
Yeah.
lulus and then applied for masters. So with the APPEL T7, I can skip my bachelor degrees and use my experience experience untuk join masters in aviation industry, in aviation engineering and management.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Encik Heidi. So this is our main one of the main objective, which is to enhance the career path line, especially for the professionals.
Correct.
Yeah. So that you can go further. Yeah. Okay. So next.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Minta maaf
Waalaikumsalam,
saya
Amira.
punya kamera laptop ni problem sikit.
Okay, no problem,
Okay.
Amira. Alright.
Okay, nama saya ni Amira Shazana binti Mazran. Saya 34 tahun. Saya graduated from MIAT, Malaysian Institute of Aviation Technology in Avionics Engineering Kemudian saya sambung YASA program, license program YASA. Dan saya start career saya as a avionics technician in Sepang Aircraft Engineering. Kemudian before tu saya ada join juga Rayani Air and then as a vendor juga sebagai avionics technician. Sepanjang saya bekerja di Sepang Aircraft Engineering dan sampai avionics and then the COVID came and then I've been retrenched. And I continue my career in Asia as a production planning. After 1 year, I got the offer from Emirates Airlines as an avionics aircraft technician. Dan sekarang saya bekerja sebagai avionics aircraft technician di Emirates Airlines. Dan saya continue master saya sebab saya plan untuk join management in Emirates Airlines. InsyaAllah jika diberikan rezeki.
Alright. So we hope that this program will be benefited to you. Okay, so alright. So thank you, Amira. Next.
Amira join kelas 5 pagi ke Amira sekarang?
Sekarang supaya dapat cuti raya.
Oh,
Dah
okay.
balik lah.
Very good. Dan sekarang ni daripada Emirates lah, daripada Dubai.
Kan hari ni saya dekat Malaysia.
Oh,
So lepas
dah
ni
balik.
saya dapat balik sampai 3 bulan 4 ni. Lepas ni
Okay.
saya akan continue saya punya lesson pukul 5 pagi waktu
Okay.
di Dubai.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Next. Siapa boleh? Hanis?
Settle lah next apa?
Okay, next Mila.
Okay. Cik Wan,
Alright, Cik Wan, yes.
Alright.
Okay, my name is Cik Wan Imanuddin bin Cik Wan Taqwa. Currently, I'm working with Batik Air, Malindo Air. Before, previously, Malindo Air. And then I start my aviation study after SPM. We joined the Malaysia Airlines Training Aircraft Maintenance Engineering since 2005. And then I got my license, aircraft engineer license on 2012. And then I get the approval for engineer in 2013 until 2020. And then I resigned. I joint venture with one of my friend to make up one company for painting. I do a ventures. So we do a painting aircraft livery. We support for SAE, AAE, AAT, and Malaysia Airlines. And then after that, company go down. We don't have money, and then I joined back Batik Air since 2023, last year, February.
Oh, okay. That's very good because you already obtained your LAME, License Aircraft Maintenance Engineer, so that the entry qualification will be on that. So you are in the structure or avionics?
In the airframe and engine.
Airframe engine.
Yeah.
Okay. Airframe and engine. Yeah. So which means that you Batik they are operating with both Boeing 737 and Airbus, is it?
And Airbus 330, yeah.
And
we have I have the approval for 737 and Airbus 330.
Oh, both. Okay.
Current can sign right now.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. Okay. Nice to meet you, Cik Wan.
All right.
Okay. So thank you. And then next. Next, Hanis. Cik Muhammad Hanis. Okay. Tak dengar dia punya mikrofon tak ni? Mungkin dia dekat sini. Tak dengar lagi. Mikrofon tak jalan juga ya? Tak boleh, tak boleh. Mikrofon tak boleh. Alright. Okey, tak apa, Hanis tak ni dia ada masalah mikrofon. Fatih? Ahmad Fatih, Cik Ahmad Fatih, boleh?
Hi, Assalamualaikum.
Okey, Waalaikumsalam, Cik Fatih.
Right, let me try to on my camera first.
Yeah.
Okay, hi.
Okay.
Alright, so good morning everyone.
Okay, good morning.
My name is Ahmad Fatih Azad bin Azad. You guys can call me Fatih. So basically, I just graduated my bachelor last year, July 2024. And right now I am in deviation as a training executive, training coordinator for type course. I'm still looking for chance in enhancing and going deep into aviation. So that's why I enrolled myself in this master's program.
Okay, so your first degree in the which area? Which
my first
mechanical?
Degree in KL Miat.
Okay. So you graduated from KL Miat, yeah? All right. Okay, Fatih. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Rashidan? All right.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, Rashidan.
Okay. My name is Muhammad Rashidan bin Mahat. I'm graduate from Unika Elmiat, taking my IASA license, B1.1 and B1.3. And then somehow, after graduated, I cannot convert my license to CAM license. So after a while, I'm taking CAM Grade A license during my employment to Firefly Airlines. And currently my position as a maintenance planner came more since 3 years ago. And then I taking this master to enhance my career, and then taking me to management sector lah. That's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you also graduated from MIAT KL, huh?
Yes, correct.
Okay, okay, that's very good. Okay, so Hanis, are you okay with your microphone now?
Dr. Aman, my
Yep.
friend Mr. Abadi,
Yeah.
he ada problem sikit lah dia punya ni.
Okay.
Tadi dia dah masuk and then right now dia dah keluar balik lah.
Nampak dah keluar masuk tu. Tak apa, it's okay.
Okay, Mr. Abadi is my colleague also from Batik Air, but he is one of our instructor.
Oh, alright. Your instructor in Batik Air.
Yeah, currently our instructor in Batik Air.
Okay, that's good. And then he also
he also a
Lami.
B1 license, yes.
B1 license.
But his license from UK, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Alright. No problem. Okay, Hanis, tak boleh lagi ya. Alright. Oh, yeah. Okay, tak apa, no worries. Okay, so I think I have known you guys a little bit background, and then your current position, and then a little bit on the information, maybe about the level. I mean the knowledge of that that you have obtained now, so that this master class actually. So we are going to discuss a lot with the current issues, especially with regards to the aviation environment, especially into the economic and finance perspective. Yeah. Okay. So Cik Abadi, you want to say something? Boleh? You want to introduce yourself? Tadi Cik Wan Imanuddin pun dah bagi tahu a little bit about you. So maybe you want to, yeah.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay.
Sorry. Tadi on
No
PC,
problem.
my camera may problem kena on kat laptop. Good morning. Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Abadi bin Abdul Rashid. I'm same like Encik Wan Imanuddin tadi. I'm an aircraft engineer. Started my career with MAS back in 91. Work with MAS, Berjaya Air, Pelangi Air. Then right now currently I'm with Malindo Air or Batik Air. Okay, was in operation maintenance during earlier days. Then I joined training school as part of as instructor until now. Okay, just join this course, master, because as you realize, those of us that start with aircraft maintenance back in those days, our only qualification is only our LME license.
Yeah.
So kita tak ada, you can say, no certificate or paper qualification. That's why when I see this opportunity, they accept our license as a qualification.
Yeah.
That's why I applied to join this.
Yeah. We realizing on that matters and the problem, because when you are too technical, you know, you become a very, let's say that expert in the area, and then the people need you in that area very much, and then you are bounded with that one. But you yourself actually want to expand, and then you want to have the next career level into the management. So we are actually providing this opportunity so that people like you guys, like Cik Wan Iman, and then Cik Abadi, so that you can go up, you go higher level with the paper qualification, especially with the master. If you want to do degree, it's going to take another 3 years. If you do part-time degrees, that is going to take another 6 years. So we are offering directly accepting or your licensed aircraft maintenance engineer, so that you can get the next qualification, which is a master's qualifications. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for introducing yourself. So
Thank
now,
you.
okay. I think I'm going to proceed with the introduction class, which is on the our course information. What you are going to learn from this course, yeah, for the aviation economy and finance. So MEC 746, this is a course briefing. Scene setting for our course. This course presents an integrated approach to understand aviation economics and finance. It emphasizes the application of economic models of demand, pricing, cost, and supply to aviation market and network, and it examines industry practice and emerging methods for fleet planning, route network design, scheduling, pricing, and revenue management. So, what you are going to see, which is actually the course content, we are going to look how the aviation will obtain their profit and loss, which is there are four main components. First is the aviation traffic, the RPK, and second is yield, which is the ASK. Okay, so ASK, available seat kilometers. The aviation traffic is through the revenue passengers kilometers. So that will be the revenue stream for the airlines. And then how the profit and losses been gauged or been assessed is through the difference between the input between the output and the input. So the second part, the airline yields is toward on the how the pricing. Yeah, the airlines yield is toward how the setup of the airlines to offer the price for the ticket, and which is the first two chapters. Sorry, the first chapter 2 and chapter 3, we are going to discuss how the revenues can be obtained from the airlines services. And in the third and the fourth and fifth chapters, which is on the cost perspective, which is the output. Okay, so the output is available seat kilometers. So every services that been going to be provided by the airline company, they need to provide how they need to spend the money they will have to invest in order to provide, in order to make the seat to fly. So this is what be defined by the supplied from the output unit. So it's represented by the ASK, and many knows this one as the capacity, the airline's capacity. And the last one will be on the unit cost, which is the cost of the airline itself, the driven. So if you look into the revenue, how that the projection of the price, the ticket pricing, it will projected through this unit cost as well. So the difference between the output times with the unit cost and the aviation traffic RPK times with the price will give you the revenue and will determine the profit or loss for the airlines. Okay, so that's the main basic that you're going to have. Yeah, but before that, the cost outcome for this subject, for this MEC 746, there are 3 cost outcome. By the end of this study, by the end of this course, you will synthesize the principle of the aviation supply and demand management, which is to look into what currently be offered by the aviation and then how that they manage the demand from the passengers, from the cargo, and from the passengers. And the next one is cost outcome number 2, to evaluate the problems related to the challenges faced by the airlines and airport capacity management and pricing strategies. And then the CO3, the cost learning outcome 3, is to organize that you can organize the importance of the aviation management in economy and finance and its impact on the economy, society, and the environment. Okay. Before I proceed, Faiza, can I ask a question? Faiza, um,
Yes,
you are in semester 1 or semester 2?
I'm in my second semester. So
This
me
is your
and
second.
Heidi, yeah,
Okay.
me and Heidi are in
Already in.
our
Okay.
second.
All right. So I assume that the terminology that I will use, you will able to understand it. Yeah. Because there might be some of the, because you already have taken the first semesters. Yeah. And
Mhm.
then you are from a different field, from physics. Maybe some of the terminologies, they are very common in aviations, but uncommon to the public. Yeah. So
Mhm.
like the later on that I'm going to tell you about the of course the RPK and something, the and ASK, revenue passengers kilometer, even from the people from the technical itself pun kadang-kadang sometimes they are not familiar with that. Like what else? Yeah, like the I think that you already have looked into the overall perspective, and then you have taken the aerodynamic. You have taken already.
Yes, correct. I have
Okay.
taken that.
Okay. So maybe some of the aircraft terminologies, the component, the overall perspective of the aircraft,
Mhm.
you have understand. Okay. So I think
Yes.
okay, that will be okay. And then
But if I
if
have question, for sure I
yeah,
will ask.
yeah. Okay, if
I'm
you
so
have a
sorry.
question with regards to
Yeah.
terminology, with maybe you don't understand, you just
Mhm.
turn on your microphone and you may ask the questions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So okay, and same apply to all. If you have any question, please let me know. Turn on your microphone and let me know your questions. Yeah. Okay. So this is our course content. This is our course content. We are going to look into 9 chapters, and this is spread into this block. Week 1, which is this week, 29 and 30. Week 2, 5th and 6th of April. Week 3, 12 and 13 of April. And week 5 on the 19th of April. So this is my mistake, yeah. Yeah, the last kali ni, this is my mistake. This is supposed to be week 5. Okay, this is a week 5. Okay, what you're going to learn. So today we're going to take 6 hours for introduction, for the briefing. Any question that you have, please let me know. And then I expect the course briefing for this morning. Okay, for this morning. Sekejap ya. Sekejap. Hang on a second. Okay. All right. Uh, In the week 1, which is today and tomorrow, we're going to have the course briefing for this one that we are currently doing, and then this afternoon we're going to look into the aviation strategy context, because today is, you know, fasting month still, and then we are toward the end. And then last year and the last previous years, 2023 and 2024, I conducted all the classes through online, and then it was happened in Ramadan too. So you can imagine how struggle that time. This year only 2 days during the Ramadan, but it's already toward the end. And then I believe that you are also in stage of preparing for your Hari Raya, for most probably on this Monday. And then with that, I think after the course briefing, course information, we're going to stop, and then after that we're going to continue this afternoon with the chapter 1. Okay, and then tomorrow 6 hours we are going to spend on the aviation traffic. So aviation traffic will be conducted through the modeling of demand and traffic, identification and segmentation. So that will be the subtopics that under the aviation traffic. And then modeling, forecasting and allocating of the air transport demand. So this, if you see these subtopics, this is quite interesting. Modeling and forecasting, allocating and the transport demand. So this is the project that I have given to my previous student last time, to study on to forecast the traffic growth for the period certain of time for all the airport in Malaysia. So if you have, for example, Batik Airline, for example, yeah. So if you have the traffic data, and then we are going to project for the future demand, which is whether that the traffic between the city to city, for example, from Kota Baru to Subang. Let's say that you are looking into the perspective of the Firefly, Kota Baru to Subang. Then when we take that route, city to city, the growth or the current historical data of the traffic growth, how that the passengers, the RPK has been growth throughout the cities, and with the current condition, if we still maintain with the same operating, the same schedule, does the number of flight or the number of aircraft will be required to be increased for the next coming years? And then with the current demand that it has, do we need to increase the supply? So this is with regards to the capacity management, how that how that the airlines will strategize when they are going to have a new aircraft, when they are going to have a new or additional flight between this city to city. So it will give the information for the management to decide if they are not doing something with their supply, whereas the demand has been increased, then they are going to lose the market. So this is why this subject is important, so that you can have an eagle eye perspective. Because when the flight going to be increased or the aircraft going to increase, the finance going to incur, the management of the hangar, the management for the people has to be expanded too. So it will have the kind of domino effect to the others operation in the airlines itself. So it is very good for you, so that through this class you can look into the bigger perspective, how that the management, how that you can learn the cause and effect of the others, and the impact of the supplies, impact of the demand toward of the airlines operations. And then after that, I will give you tomorrow the individual project titles. So this individual project titles will cost about 20% from your overall marks. Yeah. So for this subject, we don't have any final. We don't have final exam. We only have tests, 2 tests, and 2 assignments. So one individual assignments and another one is the group project. Okay, so for the third chapters, it is about the airlines yield. So we are going to discuss about the price, the tariff structure, how the government say that uh, the rules of the government, the price drivers, the tactical pricing, yields, and operation revenue. And then in the fourth chapter, so that will be happen on 5th and 6th of April for the second week. So for the first chapter, we're going to look into the output, the definitions of the output, modeling of the supplies, airline output, market structure and competitions, how the reactions, okay? For example, previously we have Malindo, okay? So Cik Wan and Cik Hadi, so working with the Batik Air. So previously we have Malindo, and then after the COVID-19, the no more Malindo, and then but basically, but Malindo Air is under the Batik Air. So how that the competitions between the airlines, especially when incoming of the airlines, a new operator, what will be the response of the existing player? What will be the response in terms of the price ticket? What will be the response of their operations, their supply? And then the main thing here is that how they are going to compete into the market that been dominated. And for the newcomers, we have seen a phenomenon last time, if you still remember, about the My Airlines. So how that the My Airlines suddenly from nowhere been established around 2018 to 2019 as a newcomer, suddenly they rapid growth and they play with the ticket price. So if you still remember the AirAsia starting from 2002, taken over by Tony Fernandez, and before that, AirAsia, I think owns, if I'm not mistaken, that is under Berjaya or something like that. The old company of AirAsia. Let me let me recheck and reconfirm the original company, the early establishment of the AirAsia. Okay. Okay. Establish my Malaysia Airlines. The owner before it been taken over by Tony Fernandez, by the Tune Group. Okay. Yeah, the RB Highcom. Okay, so in 1993, established 1993 until 2001, it was owned by the RB Highcom. Yeah, and then after that, been taken over by Tune by Tony Fernandez. Yeah. Okay. So how that the My Airlines have given the impact to AirAsia price. So because they come into the market, and then they given the price with the very competitive. So I think at that time, they offer as low as 39 ringgit for one for a flight. Yeah. And then at that time, the AirAsia already has, has their operation has been increased, their cost have been increased, and then the minimum that they can offer is something like 69 ringgit. So 39 versus 69. Of course, 39 is a better price offered. So many passengers has turned into the My Airlines, and if you can remember, by the time that they've been collapsed the operation, they owe about 20 millions in terms of the then I think it's about 20 million, something like that. So you can imagine how the newcomers disrupt the market, and then also will be giving some problem for the existing airlines. So we are going to discuss that later on as well. Yeah. So in the 5th chapter, unit costs, cost defined, airline cost classification, cost drivers and their management, introduction to upstream costs, and the internal and cost distributions. So we are going to look into how the fixed costs, the operating costs, the effect of the fuel price, how the strategy that has been taken by the airlines company in order to cater with the increasing or fluctuation price of the oil fuel. So in order to secure their profit, what will be the strategy that can be taken by the airlines in order to ensure their operating will not be disturbed by the fluctuations of the oil price. And then, if I'm not mistaken, the main portion of the cost is coming from the oil fuel. So whatever the fluctuation they have, the crisis, the world crisis, that might give an impact to the oil price. So we hope that with the new Trump policies, so some call it as the Trumpnomics, yeah. So that not going to give significant impact to the stability of the oil price that we have now. So we hope that the whatever policy that Trump going to take, and the response by the other countries, by the Europe, by the Germany, by the Canada itself, by the Mexico, they are not going to, give significant impact to the passengers. Yeah. However, that if you look into the last few statement, I think about a few weeks ago, with regards to the travelers alert. So European countries, some of the European country like Germany, and I think Canada too, they have outlined, they have released a travel alert to US, to United States. So this actually will give a significant impact to the demand, to the needs of the demand. I mean, to the needs of the traveler inbound United States, because from the Germany, from the European, and from the Canada. So this may be going to give implication toward the travelers. So we hope that this is only going to be minor. There will be an impact, but the impact might be minor because of this condition. So when the demand is lower, hopefully the oil price will be go lower, because they are encouraging through this pricing. But we have to look into the further analysis how that the implication into the the impact into this travel growth. Yeah. And then the 6 chapters, we're going to have a test 1. Okay, sorry, before that you're going to have group project. I will give you group project on the week 3 to 5. Okay, after the second week, group project that comprises of 30% from your total mark. Then on the week 3, 12th of April morning, we are going to have test 1. So since Amira, you will be in Dubai, so this is going to be conducted via hybrid. So Amira will answer from Dubai, and the rest of you guys will answer the question through physical. Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Dr. Aman.
Okay, Doctor.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
5th April to 12th April, I'm in Jeddah because we
Okay.
are audit for Flynas.
Okay.
So I
5th to
think 5th to 12th April. I think in 12th April, I'm coming back. My flight coming back from Jeddah to Kuala.
you are traveling.
Yeah.
You will be travel
Mm-hmm.
on the 12th. Okay.
On the 12th. On the 12th, yeah.
Okay. All right. So any others? Ada yang lain-lain lagi? Okay. So kalau macam tu, okay. Kalau macam tu. So you already bought the ticket?
I waiting for management to give me the ticket.
Okay.
Still waiting.
All right. Okay. So in that case,
but the test we just do it in online, right?
yeah,
So I think is it possible to me to do online also?
Yeah, that is one of the option. That will be one of the option. But
Mhm.
if you are traveling, I have to look into your limitation. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay,
have to
okay.
look.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to look
I
into
will
your.
discuss with you after I get my ticket.
Yes, yeah,
All right, thanks.
yeah. I have to look into your limitation first, and then let's see what will be the possible solutions. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Okay.
Doctor.
Okay. Welcome. All right. Next.
Dr. Aman,
Yeah.
saya nak tanya selalunya kalau test ni dalam pukul berapa ya?
So I plan to do starting from 9 something like that, 9 ataupun 10 lah, something like that. So kalau you dekat sana pukul berapa?
Dia lambat 4 jam.
Okay. Kalau kita start kat sini pukul 9, kat sana pukul 4 pagi.
4 pagi.
4
Okey.
pagi.
Okey.
So
Boleh,
pukul
boleh.
berapa? Okay, pukul berapa you boleh that April belum masuk sama lagi kan. So selalunya pukul berapa ada you boleh
So kita
start?
akan plan test kita 12 bulan 4. Okey, pukul 4 okey. Dia berapa jam selalunya? Dia punya
Okay, so saya suka buat synchronize. Okay, jadi I plan to make it about 3 hours. Sebab kita punya selalunya saya buat 3 jam lah punya test kan. So saya tak boleh kau compare dengan saya punya masa belajar dulu test jam je, soalan 10 kan. So my plan is 3 hours punya test. So that you can do a lot of, and then it will be the open book actually. Open book. So you boleh tengok mana-mana you boleh ni. Tapi tak boleh nak gunakan AI lah. So it is going to be open book. You kena jawab kat dalam tu. Use your own words untuk jawab soalan test tu. So it's going to be 3 hours test. Yeah.
Okay, Doctor.
So it's about, giving your opinion, giving how that the perspective toward of the traffic, toward your analysis, toward the aviation context dalam apa yang kita dah belajar ni lah. Okay, so that will cover from chapter 1 until chapter 3. So lepas pada test tu, we are continue 3 hours with network management. Okay, so network management ni macam bila kita dah buat forecasting tadi kan, you dah flight daripada Penang ke Subang, and then the number of flight. So and then the route sendiri. Macam mana that jenis-jenis. Kalau kita tengok how the AirAsia punya strategi, dia punya hub tu dekat mana, kan? So what kind? So dia punya natures. And then kalau kita tengok dekat overseas, macam mana that linear, macam mana that the type of route, centralized ataupun dia jadikan satellite. Yeah? So and then how that they are going to network, they are going to design the network from this route that they have obtained. Kalau Malaysia punya perspektif, kalau kita nak buka pada satu-satu route, kita kena mohon dengan apa nama tu, Suruhanjaya Aviation tu kan. Tapi in their planning itself, macam mana that the network, the scheduling, and the type of route, the network economy and type of network that can be applied by the airlines. Okay. Chapter 7 on the next day, on Sunday, about the fleet management, 3 hours, aircraft acquisition and financing. So, macam mana that strategi untuk memiliki ataupun to own or to rent or to hire aircraft. And then tactical fleet management. And then revenue management, or the chapter 8, introduction, approaches to revenue management, commercial consideration, revenue management component, and then final final chapter looking into the strategy, economy and operating performance. So, but I think this one, test 2 ni kita 3 sampai 9. Ya, test 2 3 sampai 9 hari last sekali lah ya. So this is going to be the final meeting ya. Sorry, this is not chapter 3 sampai chapter 9. This is going to be chapter 4 sampai chapter 9. Nanti saya betulkan. This is chapter 4 sampai chapter 9. Yang last kali kat bawah ni tak betul lah sebab group project saya dah bagi dekat awal-awal ni. So group project ni nanti I will upload into the MS Team dan you boleh tengok lah dekat MS Team tu nanti the document for the task. Sorry, for the group project. Alright. Do you have any question with regards to the course content? Ada soalan dengan kita punya course content? Dengan kita punya planning? Lain pada tadi tu, yang test 1 tadi tu kan? Yang ada yang travel. So, nanti bagi tahu lah kalau you ada limitation, your own limitation, kalau ada masalah, please let me know. And then kita boleh bincang untuk selesaikan lah. Okay. This is the assessment planning. So, there is no final exam, only 2 tests. And then 1 individual project, 20%, and group project, 30%. So test 1 about 10% and test 2 40%. So in total, that will be 100%. Boleh faham ni? Yang ni?
Boleh.
Okay. So minimum passing mark adalah 60% lah. So you kena dapat B ya. At least score B untuk lulus bagi kursus master.
Dr. Aman.
Yeah.
Is it the test will be subjective or objective?
There will be subjective. There will be subjective.
For
Tidak
both?
ada multiple question, tak ada.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
doctor.
so you akan jawab through the discussion, analysis and something. So normally dalam ni kita tak ada calculation lah dalam aviation, economy and finance ni tak ada calculation. Only throughout your opinion, pemahaman you, apa yang you faham, apa yang you boleh relate dengan luar, and the surrounding, the environment that you have in the aviations.
English or Malay, sir?
English.
Alright.
So UiTM ni kita punya polisi, kita meningkatkan merubah destiny anak bangsa kan. So we are actually looking into the upgrading, not just through your knowledge but your communication too. So that's the philosophy of UiTM. Yeah. Okay, the textbook. Recommended textbook, Stephen Holloway, Strict and Level. So, yang PDF version pun saya dah upload. Dah ada. And then there are few more references that you can use. Flying of course, airline finance, airline management finance, and then airport system. So there are 5, 1 textbook and 4 references. Okay. Next one. Okay, kejap ya. Next one. Saya stop sharing yang ini. So sebab saya nak tunjuk this one. Okay, so about your MS Team. Nampak ni yang MS Team you semua? Kan? about your MS team, yang dah masuk kat sini 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Saya rasa saya dah masukkan semua kecuali Cik Wan. Cik Wan Imanuddin saya tak dapat masukkan lagi. Mungkin ada masalah.
Saya pun tak
Abadi.
ada, Doktor.
Siapa dia? Ya.
Rashidan.
Hadi. Oh, Rashidan. Rashidan dengan Cik Wan.
Saya tak ada tu bias.
Okey. Kejap ya. Okey. Okey, Rashidan Rashidan. Kejap. Rashidan dah ada. Boleh.
Thank you, Doktor.
Alright. So nanti tengok dalam you punya dengan Cik Wan Cik Wan Imanuddin. Sebab Cik Wan tadi tu saya nak masukkan ada problem sikit tadi. Tak boleh. Ni tak. Cik Wan baru daftar
Baru daftar.
Saya rasa sebab tu lah kot.
Oh, okey.
Mungkin ada 2-3 hari
Sebab
nanti.
Saya paling lambat daftar tu.
Mungkin sebab tu lah kot.
Oh, okey.
Tapi tak apa. Nanti
tak apa. Mr. Abadi boleh share dengan saya.
Nanti dalam 2-3 hari nanti mungkin dia akan dapat masuk lah dalam sistem tu. Ataupun mungkin lepas raya ke something like that. But anyway, apa yang ada dalam ni, so saya rasa tak ramai lah yang familiar dengan MS Team ni, kecuali Faizah ataupun mungkin Fatih mungkin familiar. Okay, this is a home page. Okay, so you boleh tengok pada general. So assignment, you boleh tengok dekat sini. Dekat kawasan assignment ni. Saya akan bagi assignment dekat sini. You klik dekat assignment, then akan keluar dekat sini lah. And then you will get a notification dekat assignment. Okay, so dekat main channel ni, there will be a discussion dekat sini. Kalau you tanya soalan apa-apa, any recording, akan masuk dekat sini. And then, there will be files dekat sini. Files. And then, this one adalah recording yang lama-lama. You boleh tengok juga yang the last session yang saya conduct lah. Yang dahulu-dahulu semua tu ada recorded. Dan you boleh gunakan, you boleh tengok review balik. Yeah. And then yang kedua, session yang kita dah record hari ni pun akan muncul dekat sini. Nanti. Sebab saya dah record tadi, dia akan bawa kepada sini. So jadi Amira ataupun siapa-siapa yang terlepas kelas, you boleh refer kepada this session nantilah. Ya. Yeah? You boleh refer kepada this session. Buka dekat sini, you akan dapat session yang kita dah record. Ya. Okay. 2052 session Tuesday 24. Okay. Kalau you tengok ini yang Wednesday ni, yang ni saya tersilap ni sebab subjek lain ni kalau you tengok ni. Subjek lain ni. Saya tersilap bawa masuk ke dalam this one. Saya tak terlupa nak tukar dia punya MS Team tu, dia punya. Next adalah yang tu recording class materials. Class material, dalam class material ni saya dah masukkan the course outline. You boleh tengok the course outline kat sini. Course information. Semua ni dah ada dalam sini. You boleh download. Which is actually the course outline yang saya present tadi lah. And then, the lecture note. Nota-nota semua you boleh download kat sini. Semua nota ni ada. You boleh download. Cuma ni nota yang 2024 yang last year punya nota. Tapi dia tak ada banyak pun perubahannya. Berbanding dengan yang baru. Sebab baru yang 2025-20252 saya ada updatekan the information sikit. Information regarding macam contohnya report kan. IATA report. I do the discussion analysis on the IATA report. So macam mana that IATA report berubah data traffic, RPK, data ASK, data the growth and such in. So you boleh download lah. And then there is additional reading tahun 2023, additional reading dekat sini. Saya pun lupa nak masukkan apa nama ni, class kit books ya. Ni. Macam contoh yang ini ya, IATA review. Ni pun you boleh tengok jugalah dalam ni nanti. Sudah masuk dah IATA review tu. So additional reading ni kebanyakannya yang disediakan oleh Airbus, Boeing, GMF, IATA tu sendiri ya. So you boleh refer and then you can see opinion, you can use this data untuk you punya test, untuk you punya assignment and such on. So dalam ni for example you nak tengok how that the Airbus punya data, how that they project, they do the projection, what are their analysis toward the global market forecast tahun 2022, and actually this report ni dikeluarkan setiap tahun, and then dia punya analysis dia tengok setiap tahun. This is very interesting, the recovery, bila dia expected recover dengan keadaan sebenar and such on. So kenapa Airbus dan Boeing very particular dengan this one, dengan dia punya analysis ni, dengan market analysis? Because this is going to highly related dengan aviation economy. That mereka ni adalah aircraft manufacturer. So billions punya ni. Jadi when they come nak cari market, they do the analysis, big data analysis. They are going to identify siapakah yang paling potential. Dia ada data macam Airbus, two main player, Airbus, Boeing. Normally, kalau dah gunakan Airbus, dia akan continue dengan Airbus sebab type rating kan. In term of employee, in term of the expertise yang dia ada, macam contoh Cik Wan dengan apa nama tu, Cik Abadi tu, you dah boleh gunakan A320. Kenapa AirAsia hanya stick kepada A320? Dia tak akan ambil kepada Boeing. Sebab dia akan spend the cost untuk for relearn, retraining of their staff. You dah ada lame yang type rating untuk Airbus. Kalau you nak, dan juga instructor yang ada kat situ. So jadi dengan hanya ada satu common aircraft type, dia akan memberikan kos yang lebih rendah untuk do the operation wise. Compare dengan kalau nak ada dengan the others lagi. Nak gunakan Boeing pula. And so that will be, you know, another the difficulties for them to operate with variants of type of the aircraft. So that's of the philosophy of what we call low cost carriers punya operating conditions. So this operator, the manufacturer, Airbus and Boeing, they are going to identify. Contoh AirAsia yang dia order tahun 2004 dahulu, tahun 2005 yang dia announce, tahun 2003 dia announce. They are going to buy 100 A320 with the option another 200. So secara keseluruhan jadi 300 aircraft. Type dia semua sama. Airbus A320 apa yang dia pakai? 600 Airbus 320 500 something like that Tapi variance dia tak jauh. So what they have there is actually dia ada delivery time. Okay, so as according to schedule yang punya network yang dia nak buat, yang dia dah fokus, sebagai contoh operation dia, lepas tu dengan delivery time aircraft tu nak sampai bila, dengan 100 dengan dia punya expansion. Jadi delivery yang dia nak hantar kepada AirAsia ni mungkin dalam setahun dia nak hantar lebih kurang, the program wise is about 20 years katakanlah. So 100 aircraft. So setiap tahun dia akan mendapat 10 aircraft, 10 dengan option. Let's say that year yang di project tiba-tiba ada banyak route baru, ada banyak frequency yang tinggi diperlukan. So ada pertambahan aircraft, pertambahan demand, pertambahan supply yang dia perlu keluarkan. So what they need to do? So daripada this one, di Airbus ataupun di Boeing, dia akan tengok kapal mana, syarikat airlines mana yang mempunyai kapal yang aging ataupun the route mana yang there will be potential untuk dia take over, untuk dia tambahkan. So they are going to project, they are going to forecast. So kalau you tengok dalam sini, this one yang dia dapat apa semua ni kan, yang summative yang dikeluarkan recovery apa semua ni, which is actually this is summative. Kalau they do the analysis untuk satu-satu market, domestic, international, city to city, country to country, they will get more details and then to be more masukkan lagi. Bagai contoh, dia masukkan AirAsia duduk dekat sini. So sekarang ni AirAsia pakai berapa banyak and then frekuensi berapa banyak. Aging time dah berapa lama. So they do that kind of analysis and then they can approach that company or the airlines. So this is what you need to do. I already do this your kind analysis. So of course the airline sendiri dia buat dia punya analisa. So they will come out, you know, dengan jumlah in-flight service per, like for example like this one, aircraft generation, modernization, apakah yang requirement yang diperlukan. So kedua-dua Airbus dan Boeing pada tahun 2022 they are actually agree. Okay, ni semualah di all punya analisis, view impact, sustainability dengan semua. So they agree that di antara growth, of course Middle East growth dia lebih daripada 8%. Tetapi market domestik dekat China sendiri, they are actually growth at the very fast level. Kalau ditengok sini, this is a travelling flight ya. Nanti kita akan tengok lagi ya dalam ni. So, mana ni? Domestic PRC tu you tengok tu. Okay. So, 2019, 2041, 5.3%. Tetapi 5.3% di dalam China is not similar with the domestic dekat Asia yang lain. Asia emerging 6% sebab dia punya kapasiti dekat sana tu dah tinggi, 5.3%, but the number of dia punya growth untuk 1% is large sebab dia memang dah banyak. As compare with growth tempat lain. Dia ada percentage tinggi, macam contoh yang ni kan, Central Europe 4.8%, tetapi the numbers of that is small. So what will be their priorities? Which is sebenarnya dia banyak dekat PRC, People's Republic of China. Tetapi kita kena ingat COMAC dah ada dekat China. So China is developing their own manufactured aircraft, COMAC. So that's COMAC akan memberikan masalah kepada Airbus dan juga Boeing satu hari nanti. Of course sekarang ni dia looking into they are manufacturing of the narrow body. So satu hari nanti dia akan pergi kepada wide body juga. Okay, so Pak Izzah boleh faham apa yang dimaksudkan dengan narrow body dengan wide body?
Yes, boleh.
Okay. Alright, good. Okay, so this is the macam ni kan, bila do the analysis, berapa lama, berapa banyak yang aircraft tu dah aging, berapa banyak yang kena stay, berapa banyak the timing. As you know, the aircraft apabila dah 15 tahun, dah 20 tahun, so there are possibilities of dia nak replace. Sekarang ni jumlah number of aircraft 22,820. So yang muda-muda ni akan di-maintain for the next 2041, tetapi there will be some replacement and there will be some growth. 15,440 akan di-replace dan 24,050. So all of this, di mana dia punya market dia? That's why the Airbus dengan Boeing ni nak go for that one. Dia kena tengok pula 46,930 aircraft baru menjelang 2041 ni, new deliveries. Di mana market of this one? So market share-nya ke mana pula? Airbus berapa banyak nak ambil? Wide body berapa banyak? Narrow body berapa banyak? Okay. So yang ini dia panggil single aisle, narrow body. So 31,600 single aisle ataupun narrow body. Wide body 7870, 20% market. So dia nak fokus ke bahagian mana? So Comac masuk kepada narrow body. So yang ini akan jadi ada portion untuk narrow body. Tapi there will be one possibilities yang satu hari nanti that one also akan gunakan yang dia akan manufacture wide body juga. So this is the distributions. Okay. Global market forecast, CAGR, apa ni? Annual growth rate ya. Capacity annual growth rate, CAGR. Okay, so this information, which is actually they are analyzing the scenario. So kalau you tengok, you baca, I hope that you can extract the information untuk fahamkan and then apply dalam dalam you punya ni lah, nanti dalam you punya career, dalam you punya work, which is actually benda ni lah apa ni, this is what I have done semasa saya buat projek saya dahulu. Saya duduk dekat Airbus and then I do this apa nama tu, the business intelligence untuk Central Asia. So Central Asia punya market. So that's why kalau you tengok background saya, I'm engineering, propulsion pula tu dalam turbo machinery, but I have the knowledge and information that I am capable untuk deliver dalam this business. Sebab saya pernah buat projek untuk this one, and then this is a kind of the analysis yang saya pernah buat dahulu untuk Airbus. Okay. Okay. So nanti you boleh tengok So semua dah dapat masuk kepada MS Team ke? Kalau tengok kat sini, Heidi je yang tak dapat, yang lain Heidi dengan Rashidan. Rashidan tadi pun saya dah masukkan. Orang lain semua ni kalau ikutkan semua dah dapat ni. Cik Wan tu, ini pelik juga ni. Cik Wan boleh log in dengan UiTM punya kan? Dengan
doktor, saya dah pakai UiTM je dah.
Tapi dalam MS Team tak boleh
Dalam MS Team tak ada. MS Team pun saya dah apa? Ya pakai Microsoft dah masuk habis dah ni.
Tapi dia pelik ya. Kenapa tak boleh? Saya tak boleh nak add. Tak apa, nanti you request Macam ni, saya ambil ni. Dekat sini saya letak dekat link. Okay, dekat link. Get link to the team. Okay. Okay. Oops. You klik je link yang saya bagi tu dan you akan masuk dalam ni lah, dalam MS Team ni. Okay. Okay. So another materials yang saya nak tunjuk dekat sini adalah buku. Lecture note you dah tengok tadi tu. Okay, so another materials adalah books. So this is the books, all the books yang saya dah upload dekat dalam sini. And then yep, this is a book yang kita akan gunakan. Stephen Holloway, Street and Level. Okay, Street and Level. Yang ini. Okay, so you boleh download, you boleh print lah buku ni. Buku ni agak tebal and I think it's quite useful untuk you. Operating performance. Nota pun sebenarnya saya base kepada this one lah. Because this is our textbooks. Next. Airport system planning, flight management, finance. So kadang-kadang bila you tengok dalam buku ni, kadang-kadang dia punya approach dia agak berbeza. In term of the terminology that being used, dia agak berlainan. Sebab di antara European, kalau you tengok standard pun samalah kan. Yang digunakan oleh CAM lain, yang digunakan oleh IASA lain, yang digunakan oleh ICAO lain, yang digunakan oleh FAA lain. So the terminologies used kadang-kadang berbeza. So dia punya cuma sometimes bila you encounter with that kind of problem, kalau tak silap saya dia ada dictionary untuk directory. Kalau in term of European apa yang dimasukkan, in term of American apa yang dimasukkan. The terminologies of directory. So this is also quite bagus juga buku ni pun. Finance department, what it does mean fit into finance organization. But kita bukannya 100% fokus kepada finance. Finance is a part dalam satu subchapter. Finance strategy. Tapi they are, they are looking into the same condition yang 4 tadi tu. Traffic, yield, price, output dan juga the cost. Cost. Financing, the airlines, so how that the strategy long term, shares, bond. Kalau Malaysia ni kita ada MAG kan, Malaysia Airlines Group, dan Malaysia Airlines Group kalau dulu nama dia Penerbangan Malaysia Berhad, PMB. So how that they do the finance. Kalau dahulu the airlines tu sendiri yang own the aircraft, but with that kind of philosophies dia akan menyebabkan burden yang mana the airlines terpaksa membayar the fixed cost yang tinggi. Jadi macam mana that they are going to reduce this fixed cost. Jadi what they have done is that they transfer that they use different philosophy strategies yang mana the aircraft tu sendiri not owned by the airlines, but they are hired, they are rent. So apa yang airlines MAS buat, dia transfer, jualkan aircraft tu kepada Penerbangan Malaysia Berhad, which is dia punya another company. So this PMB akan sewakan semula. Tapi with the agreement untuk sewakan semula internally kepada MAS. So dia akan menyebabkan benda tu the operation wise dia akan pergi kepada the rental punya tu. So and then this rental punya condition dia ada punya ni lah better term. So jadi financial risk management, managing the airline financial position, accounting, managing the airline's money, so planning and forecasting, financial reporting. So this is more to of the accounting punya perspective lah. So how that tapi is quite good for you to look as well untuk dapatkan the information, to know the knowledge of how the operation wise in terms of financing of the aircraft. Okay, so sorry, this is yang book yang kita dah tengok tadi. And then airport. Airport juga agak bagus buku ni. Tebal 867. Okay, context long term aircraft context standard. So tapi saya rasa you pun ada belajar adalah airport management kan? Yang di bawah Dr. Mazlina, Dr. Wan. Air transport. Airport parking, airport noise charge and such on. Airside, airfield. So you boleh download lah buku ni. I think it is going to be very, dalam sini pun ada masuk dengan forecasting. Validation, mana forecasting, scenario tadi tu. Oh tak boleh pergi sana. Okay, so okay. Ada soalan? Any question you would like to ask? With regard to MS Team dengan semua, dengan kita punya perjalanan kelas. Ada soalan ke? Tak ada. Okay, kalau tak ada, kita boleh macam mana? Kita break dululah ya. Ada petang nanti kita masuk dengan chapter 1. Boleh?
Okey,
Pukul 2,
baik.
Doktor.
Boleh,
Okey,
Doktor.
doktor.
Pukul
Boleh
2
tak?
Boleh.
Lapan.
Kita break dahulu.
Betul.
And then kita sambung. Lapar dah ya?
Lapar dah ni. Hei.
Okey. Saya pun lagi lah cakap 2 jam, 3 jam ni. Aduh.
So
Kalau
nak ular air so.
itulah. Kalau dulu yang another 6 yang last 2 years tu memang lagi teruk lah. Okay. Alright, kita berhenti dulu. And then kita sambung balik pukul 2 nanti ya. Pukul 2 sampai pukul 3. Pukul 2 sampai pukul 5. Okay.
Alright.
Hopefully saya boleh inilah. Okay. So
Doktor.
saya akan bagi link baru